So, Pushkar, so before we go ahead and start, I thought I'll share a small story on Bluebeam, a recent story where how Bluebeam has helped one of my friend. So
Oh,
I think it
nice.
will be great for the audience also, to imagine about that. So I have a friend named Rohan. So he works with, I'm not naming the company, but he works with a large MNC. And of course, he's a estimator. So he does all the tendering documents and stuff in his organization. So, and while he does that, ideally the entire drawings or any estimations on BOQ, everything comes to his table, and then he has all those blueprints, sheets. It's like a complex maze. I mean, whatever he
Hmm.
mentions
Hmm.
is like a complex maze for him. And to to crack the entire thing, I think it's a very huge process for him because he has to take everything manually, all the measurements. In fact, all the marked up drawings also he has to give each line measurements, everything has to take manually. And of course, he has a team to do it, but still there are a lot of errors he was facing. He was not aware of Bluebeam. So I think during one of our webinars, which we have conducted last time, I just shared him the link on his WhatsApp. Why don't you
Oh,
try? I mean, if
wonderful.
it works for you.
Okay.
Yeah. So then his immediate message was, "Yaar, is it another software you're trying to sell me?" So, so he was like, "Is it another software?" I mean, I've seen a lot of softwares, but it's not solving a problem. So then I told him, why don't you just explore it and then see if it helps you? So that's where he started looking at our video content on YouTube, and some of the Bluebeam review measurement. I think he saw one video on review measurements.
Okay, that was for
So
steel detailers, I
yes,
think
for
he
steel
had
detailing.
done.
Yeah, yes.
Hmm.
So when he saw that video, he was really impressed. I mean, he said that, does it really happen? So then
See
he
it in
kind of,
action.
yeah, so he kind of downloaded the trial, and then he started kind of using that to initially measure the areas, volumes, and lengths.
Oh,
So,
wonderful.
and when it is happening with simple clicks, I mean, and also with accuracy. I mean, it's incredible
Correct,
accuracy. He said
correct.
that it is incredibly accurate. So then he said that, yeah, I mean, if I would known this about this software a long time, I think it would have
Earlier.
saved me a lot of
Hmm.
time. So he said that it was reducing a lot of mistakes. It was, helping him to deliver the work on time, and also specifically getting that accurate BOQ quantities.
Correct.
It was helping a lot.
Quality. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
quality was very good. So I think he said that I still remember his boss telling him that, यार तुम्हारी वजह से तो और मुझे और projects लेना चाहिए, काम कम हो गया. So
So वही
I
efficiency
think,
increase.
yeah.
Correct.
So he was telling me that सच में कागज का जंगल कम हो गया है.
Very good.
So so this
So
was
you
one of
can
the story I
utilize
thought.
that empty place to keep some,
Yeah,
the other artifacts rather than
absolutely.
papers
So
on the desk.
yeah, so I think he was really impressed with that, with specifically Bluebeam, and I think he is continuing to use it, and I think he's referring to some of his colleagues in the industry also. So
Great, great.
I thought I'll
So
give you
today's
this.
session, yeah, so today's session is
And
also going to be on the same measurements and estimations actually.
yeah, so I think I thought I'll share this story with you. I think probably the audience attendees would also relate to that. So I think we are 7 minutes past the time, so we can go ahead.
Let's
So
start.
today's webinar. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to one more webinar from Nemetschek group. So it's on Bluebeam, of course, a favorite tool of all. Uh, it's on Bluebeam Revu measurements for estimators. I think it will be really, really interesting for all of you. Just like this, my friend who was using Bluebeam right now. I think after this webinar, probably you'll have something to take away to reduce your TDS and manual measurements and have those accurate data using Nemetschek. So, Pushkar, over to you.
Yeah, actually, before we start with my introduction and the actual topics for today, Shankar, can we quickly run through the polls? I mean, just first two polls, that is,
Absolutely.
you're a Bluebeam user and the other one.
Yes, yes.
So,
So, running the first
with
one.
these polls, I would come to know today's audience and what they are currently using.
Yeah. The first poll is live. If you can see that, you can always answer by clicking yes or no.
Oh, wonderful. The responses that I'm getting is they are already Bluebeam users. Wonderful.
Oh, yes.
Great. So they can leverage their usage of Bluebeam after seeing today's session.
Absolutely. So, couple of
Is
seconds
it,
more.
yeah. Is everybody able to see the polls? Good.
Cool. Yeah. Nice. So more than 80% are responding that they are already users of Bluebeam. Super.
I think we should go to the next uh,
Next poll.
poll
Yeah.
then.
So I launch the next poll.
And during the webinar, I guess the polls will still be visible to participants, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, they'll still stay live. So here's the second question. Since most of you are already users of Bluebeam, which features of Bluebeam are you currently using?
It's a multiple choice. So we'll be very glad if you are using or ticking all three of them. But if
Yeah.
not, don't worry. We are there to help you or support you or guide. Mhm. Interesting insights, actually. Because I can see more people are taking the studio sessions, and in first few webinars when we were uh, uh, we checked about the same thing, which features, and there was a very less percentage of participants for
Sessions.
the
Yeah.
studio sessions, but
Yeah.
hopefully our webinars help them to like start using studio sessions. That's great.
Mhm. Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh,
Nice.
wonderful. Even the measurements also, I can see less percentage of people are using it. So of course, today's session is going to help them.
Yeah. So 14% are using measurements and most of them are using markups and studio sessions. I think this is the right session for the right audience. So great. Nice. So the poll will be live throughout the webinar. So you can always vote whenever you feel like.
Yes. So we'll start with today's webinar with a small introduction of mine. Uh, so I basically have roughly about 34 years of experience in the design engineering consultancies, which includes project IT functions, training, technical support for various engineering and corporate applications. And my experience also includes active participation and administration for establishing various EDMS systems. And especially, I would like to stress upon over here is the Bluebeam integrations with those EDMS systems. And you can see my contact details on the screen. So today's agenda is, this is a very brief agenda. We'll talk about the takeoff profile. Then we'll talk about the calibration for the measurements like length, area, volume, perimeter. For all these, you require the calibration part. Then we'll see how we can use the basic measurement markups and how to accumulate them in the form of a report by using the markup list. So this is a broad agenda, but in detail, today we are going to see all these features of Bluebeam, wherein we'll start with navigating the Bluebeam Revu interface, then how to apply a particular profile for quantity estimation, or how you can customize the profile. Then we will run the OCR on the scanned PDFs. We'll use the search tool for quantifying the items. Then how to save the customized count tools in the tool chest for quick access. Set the scale for drawings to ensure precise measurements like I mentioned earlier, like length, area, and perimeter or volume that would require the calibration to be done or the scale to be applied to the PDF drawings. Then we will actually take out the lengths, area, perimeters, and how effortlessly we can do that, that we'll see. And very interesting, like you can create a BOM table when you quantify all these objects in the same PDF, or you can also create a dynamic link with Excel. So it will, like at real time, going to update the quantity in the Excel template that you have. And at the end, we'll see the markup list, how you can summarize all the data and get the accurate estimates. So I'm just displaying my screen. Please let me know, Sankar, please let me know if my review application is being seen.
Yes, I can see that. Please
Okay.
give a thumbs up in the chat box if everybody can see the
Yeah.
screen.
Sankar, probably I'm not going to see the other screen, so please intimate if anybody is facing any issues or they are not
Sure,
able to see. Yeah. Okay.
sure.
So since almost everybody over here in this virtual room is the Bluebeam user, I need not, like explain the user interface very much in detail, but just very roughly. The user interface of Bluebeam Revu is very intuitive. Like any other application, there will be a menu bar on top. There are some toolbars on the right hand side, or sometimes even on top also you get the tools or toolbars. On the left hand side, the tools that you are seeing, they are called as panels. And now why they are called as panels is when you just, click on any of these buttons, the panel for that particular feature gets opened and further details are there inside. Then at the bottom, you get to see the markup list. So whichever markups and the measurements that you perform on the PDF drawing, that would appear as a markup list at the bottom, which can be extracted in the form of some summary. CSV is comma separated value summary, which can be opened in Excel, or it could be a PDF summary also. But for the estimation purpose, we will stick to the CSV summary. And then this is the main workspace wherein you can see all the PDFs that you have opened or you want to open. Further, this workspace can be split into some horizontal, vertical workspaces or the windows, and that can be used for comparing drawings side by side, or if you want to compare one part of the drawing with the other part of the same drawing, or maybe you want to refer to some other drawing with reference to which you want to do the markups or measurements, something like that. So that is about splitting. Then in the latest version of Bluebeam, there is something called as dark mode, which has been introduced. So if you are, I mean, if it gives a lot of stress to your eyes, it's better you can work in the dark mode. Okay, and how to find the latest version? That is, you just go to review, and in the about, you will get to see what is the latest version. Okay, and the other resources you can go to help, and there are a lot of resources over here. You can launch the review tutorials, and you can go to a specific topic that you want. You can learn it with the sample data sets that it has got, and you can learn it at your own pace. If you have the Bluebeam ID, which is nothing but your email ID, and you have registered it, then you can also go to the Bluebeam University, and there are a lot of courses over there, right from the basics and till the advanced. So you can follow that. Coming back to today's topic. So first part, I mean, since we finish with the user interface, now let us jump to the next part, that is about the profiles. So profile is nothing but it is how your user interface is, which all tools you have under the tool chest. So currently in my tool chest, I am able to see few tool sets. These are called as tool sets. So there are few tool sets over here. And if I go to the profile under review, you can see there is a review advanced, quantity takeoff, field issues, oil and gas. So out of all these, if you're a new user, uh, so by default, you will always find review advanced, quantity takeoff, and field issues. These are the default uh, uh, user profiles. So if currently my field issues is the current user profile, so because of that, I am able to see this kind of user interface, and these are the tools under the tool chest. But if I change to say review, you would find some changes happening in the profile. You can suppose change to review advanced. So you will find some changes happening in your user profile. Okay, and so when I was in field issues, probably you did not see much of a difference in the user interface, but the tools that you are seeing, see, they are all talking about the issues. But when you go to the review, you can see under the tool chest, it's changed. All these tool sets under the tool chest changed. Then, so the which one is the more appropriate profile? So I would suggest that probably you can start with quantity takeoff. So this is the profile, the user interface, and you can see over here under the tool chest for electrical, mechanical, concrete, interior finishes, fire and safety, all these things, the tool sets are present. If you want to add your own tool set under this tool chest, what you can do is just go to manage tool sets, and you can add your new tool set. So I will just say webinar tool set, say OK, and it gets saved under your Windows profile. It's a BTX file, mini Bluebeam tools extension file. You save it, and then it appears over here. We will, over the period, we will see how you can add the tools similar to how you're seeing over here inside this tool set. Okay, so coming to the next topic, uh, run OCR for the scanned PDF. So let's just assume that this particular drawing that you're currently seeing is a scanned image. So generally what happens in scanned images, if while scanning, there is always an option, if you are using a very good multi-device, MFD, multi-function device. If you are using a very good MFD, in that case, there is always an option whether the PDF files should be made as searchable PDF or it's just an image. So by any chance, you have not scanned the image yourself and it is not able to recognize the text. See, right now I can highlight it, but if it is just a scanned image, you will not be able to highlight the text like this or will not be able to select text like this. So in such cases, if you happen to get any document, the first thing that you should do is run the OCR. OCR is nothing but it's an optical character reader, and there is a built-in engine, OCR engine inside Bluebeam itself. So generally what happens is if you don't have the proper application, you will need another OCR engine running first on the PDFs or the images. Only then you will be able to identify the characters or the lettering. Now, once you open the OCR, it is asking you the base language of your document or the drawing. So now there are n number of languages options available over here. The most common that we use in India will be English, but just assume that if you are receiving a document, probably some engineering drawing or architectural drawing coming from some other country, maybe Japanese. So in that case, there is an artificial intelligence built into this to, help the OCR engine process the document faster. So in this case, since it's an English language, I would select English. Sometimes it could be like multiple languages also. So you can select multiple languages also over here. So that is the first part. The next part is whether it's a CAD drawing or whether it's purely tables and forms. So sometimes what happens is maybe an Excel table or the BOM table could be there and you want to identify, run the OCR onto it. So just to make the process efficient or faster, you can select the appropriate form of that document. So there is a tables and forms, there is a text document. So if it's a purely textual document, you can select this for running the OCR. But in our case, maybe around 80% at least, it would be a CAD drawing. Then you can optimize it for, or you can have the other options also selected appropriately and just say okay. So what it does is it runs the OCR and then it will start identifying the characters which are there in your PDF. It was actually not required for this particular drawing because I was already able to recognize it. But in case if you have any sample, you please try to utilize this particular OCR function under the documents. Okay, once that is done, you should be able to now start identifying. You will be able to select the letters or the characters. But when you run the OCR, you just have to remember that the quality of your drawing needs to be very good. It should not be very pixelated. So I guess around 300 dpi or 600 dpi at least should be there while you scan the document. But still, there could be some confusion happening around a small L or capital I or zero and O's. Okay, so it not necessarily be 100% accurate, but it is quite reliable. Only thing, the document, the original document should be quite legible. Now you have got the OCR done, and let's now start using the search tool for quantifying the object. So now in this particular example, you can see there are some classrooms, there are some conference rooms or cafeteria and all those things. So you can imagine, suppose this is just one particular sheet, but if you have got number of sheets, maybe the floor wise, and on each of the floor there are many classrooms, and you would like to know how many classrooms are there in this particular entire set of drawings. And based on that, probably like every classroom will probably have one digital board, or maybe every classroom should have at least 40 student benches. So such kind of quantification you will be able to do when you are able to quantify the number of classrooms in drawing. Okay, so let's just first start with our how to search something. So now in the search, you have got textual search, or you have got the image search or the visual search. So first we will try to search with the help of text. So I want to find out from the current document, or from the current page, or from all the open documents. So you can see over here there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 documents are open. So I can search a particular text from all of these documents. But in this case, in order to like save time, I will just say current document. Unfortunately, the current document has got only one page, so I could either use current page or current document. The result are going to be same. I'll just go to the textual search and I will type in classroom and I will say search. So it tells me that there are 6 results found in this. So what I can do is to select all of them. I can see over here the result seems to be right, and I can select all of them, and then in the check options either I can highlight them, or I can apply something like a tick mark, or any mark for counting the objects. So let me use this tick mark for it. So you can see wherever there is a classroom, a tick mark has appeared. Okay, so similarly, if I start identifying some other objects, so they will also come as count measurement, and over here whatever number of counts are there, that will be represented. And even maybe if I use the tick mark, it would show the same. So in order to identify what this tick mark was for, it's always a best practice that you give the meaningful subject to this object. So I would say this was identifying the classrooms. So you can see under the subject in the markup list, it has appeared as classroom. Okay. Now, so this way you can search any textual information. Now, are you able to you are able to see that there are sinks, some uh, rectangular shape sinks are there. So this cannot be identified with the textual search. So for such thing, we will make use of this visual search, and I'll get the rectangle to define what I would like to search. So it shows over here, and then I will click onto this search. There are some options, sensitivity and all, or search multiple rotation. So just imagine, I mean, in this case only you can see the orientation of this and orientation of this. These are like mirrored image of each other, or maybe they are rotated also. So in such cases, it will be able to find the multiple rotations also. So even if this is at maybe at 30 degrees or 45 degrees in particular room, still it will be able to find out. So all you have to do is get the rectangle and click onto the search. So it shows me there are 5 results, and you can just cross check whether they are right. So yes, it is correct. And this case, again, maybe I can apply the same tick mark, or maybe I can take some different symbol. Okay, so let me take this as the symbol. Okay, And maybe what I can do is, let me just change the scale for it. Maybe I'll make this as 25. Okay. For some reason, it has not selected this. Maybe you can reduce the sensitivity or filter by color, and all those things can be, I mean, some parameters, depending upon the parameters, it is actually selecting. Or you can put this as additional quantity that will also get quantified. So currently, let me just put this as sync. Okay. And you can, of course, change the other property also. So let me change the color for it. Okay. So this way you can go on quantifying the uh, objects also. Okay. Now you remember we had created this webinar tool set, which is, like empty. What I can do is select this particular symbol and I will say add to tool chest. So it gets added over here. And then maybe if something is missed out, left out, or if I want to add more number of sinks in probably some other room, all I have to do is just select it and, like mark it wherever it has been missed probably. Okay. So now it is showing you that 5 and 2. So altogether 7 sinks are there in this document. Okay. Then what I can do is, if I want to create a legend table for these things, I just have to select, right click and say legend, create new legend, and I can place it in the drawing itself. So you can see it has created a legend for all the sinks. So there are total 7 number of sinks. So it has put that in the table. You can also change the title for this, as well as maybe you can give some line width, and you, instead of outline, you can make it like a grid. Okay, so this way you can go on creating the legends also for the measurements or the counts that you have done. Okay, so similarly, maybe if you want to get the quantity of the doors, or maybe windows, or the other plumbing fixtures like WC and all, so this way you will be able to get the quantities. So this way you can do, I mean, use the search tool for searching your textual information or the visual information. And also whatever count mark that you have got, you could add it in your tool chest. So now we will jump to the other topic, that is how can we do the other measurements like length, area, perimeter, or volume kind of thing. So in each and every drawing, you would always see there is some scale mentioned. Okay, in some cases, I am just showing you another example where there are multiple scales also. Like there is a main scale over here, and then there are, like sectional views having different scale. Okay, so we have to set the scale of this particular document first. Can you see at the bottom, it is mentioned as scale not set. So the first thing that you will have to do in case of the measurements is you will have to set the scale for this. So in the preset, you would generally find all the standard preset scales used for the engineering, I mean, metric system or the architectural system. So it's in feet and inches or like in metric system. So in this case, the main scale of the drawing is 1 by 8 inches equals to 1 feet. So that I would apply over here. There is also a facility to have a separate Y scale. Okay. So now this has been set. You can see over here, it is same as this. So quickly what we will do is we will just go to the measurements and cross check whether the scale is correct or not. So one good thing about the Bluebeam is it is able to, if the PDF is being extracted from any of the vector native application or the authoring tool or the CAD application, then it gives you the snap also. So you can snap to exact intersection points or the end points. I will just change this the length part into feet and inches. So there seems to be some discrepancy in this case because this was mentioned as 7 feet and 1 by 8 inches. So the scale which has been mentioned on this drawing is probably not right. So the next thing that what we can do is instead of using this standard scale, there is an option to have the calibration done. So what we can do is we will say calibrate, okay, and we will select the same points. And it is telling me that in drawing, it is so and so inches, which is equal to 7 feet, 1 by 8 inches. And maybe the precision, I can do it as like this. Okay, now let us see if this particular scale is correct or not. So let me just try some other document, sorry, other dimension. So you now you can see it is correct. And this, yeah. So this way, I will set this, sorry. And this I will set as default. So instead of getting the millimeters in again and again, I would now get feet and inches. Okay, so this is now calibrated. So once this is calibrated, for me, it is very easy to find out some lengths or area. So let's just start with maybe the length. So which all measurement tools I have? I've got the length, I've got the area, I've got the volume. So now in this case, suppose okay, so there seems to be some overhead canopies there. Okay, and since the dimensions are marked from grid to grid, but this canopy is starting from this point onwards till this point over here, it is not matching exactly with grid. So it is difficult to find such length. So what I can do is now this drawing is already calibrated. And if I want to know what is the length and the width of this canopy, then I can go to the measure length and I can use this endpoint. Oh, sorry, I can again select this endpoint and this endpoint. So it tells me it is 49 feet by 4 inches. And then from this endpoint to this endpoint. So this way I can get whichever length I want. Now in this case, it was snapping to the exact endpoints or intersection point. Many a times what happens is uh, if you are extracting it from some application, there is generally a line weight. So you can disable that line weight over here. Like right now, I have enabled the line weight. So you can see the thicker lines. And in such cases, like getting the exact intersection point could be challenging. So you can always disable the line weights and then you get those sharp intersection points. Okay. So that visual setting you need to do before you start measuring for the lens area or perimeter like that, so that you can snap to the exact points. Another thing that you would require is in the preference, you can make the mouse crosshair as show full crosshair. So you can see over here, show full screen crosshair is there. So that's why I'm able to see a crosshair like you find it in some CAD applications. Otherwise, it's a very small mouse, like crosshair is there. I can just quickly show you how it looks if you haven't enabled it. So if I remove this, then it is very difficult for you to pinpoint. So for the CAD users, this is very helpful that you have the uh, crosshair, full crosshair, and the line weights are disabled. So this was about the lens. Now let us try to find out, and every measurement that you do, it gets like recorded inside this markup list. Now let's try to find out the area. Okay, so let's again take the area of this particular canopy itself. Okay, so what you can do is you can again go to measure and go to the area, and then you can just go on clicking onto those endpoints. Okay, so this actually the canopy is a code uh, object, So, but with the help, when you click for the point, it gives you the rectilinear kind of shape. So just right click on this and you can convert to an arc. Okay, and then you would get these tangent handles to match the curvature that you have. So are you able to see it's like going on changing the area as I change the curvature. So this way you will be able to find the area even for a non-linear kind of uh, object. Okay. So your skill lies in just, like making this curve very accurate. And this is the square feet area of this particular object. And you can see over here, it gets recorded as an area into this. So for this, instead of the subject area measurement, I can mention it as canopy. So then it gets identified. Okay, so now if I want to have the length measurements or the area into a legend table, okay, so I can get it by, I can just select those objects, right click and go to legend, and I can create new legend also for it. So it would tell me what are the length measurements accumulated together and what is the area for various objects. Again, I can make it into a table. I can give it some name to it. I can make it into a table. Okay, now I want to show you something interesting. Uh, so that was about the lengths and the area. Now let's try to do the polylength. So where this polylength is useful is, suppose you are from MEP department and maybe you would like to do the measurements of the cable length or the conduits arising from this electrical room to maybe this conference room. Okay, so in such cases, what you would do is probably you will take some, like source point, and it would go along this and till the conference room, wherever, like you would like to have the electrical points or the sockets mentioned. Okay, so it tells me this 178 feet is the accumulated of various segments. So that is 26 feet 10 inches over here, 139 feet 4 and quarter inch over here, plus 12 feet 3 and a quarter. So all together it gets accumulated as 178. But it there could be a rise and drop happening at this point, as well as it is dropping over here again. So let's just assume that at both the places it is roughly about 10 feet rise and drop. Okay, so in this room 10 feet, and in this room also again 10 feet. So roughly about 12 20 feet there is a rise and drop. Okay, so what I can do over here is, can you see over here when you select this polylength measurement, there is a rise and drop. So I can accumulate it together as 20 feet. So you can see instead of 178 feet, now it is become 198 feet and telling you that total rise and drop is 20 feet. Okay, so this is one good thing. Now let's uh, assume, I mean, sometimes the length could be, will be having a slope. So the slope can be applied in case of length measurement and area measurement. Okay. So for the length measurement, like say, suppose if you want to, if you take some measurement, maybe from this point to this point, but there is a slope in this. Say, for example, some degree, 30 degree. So instead of, if you make this as 0, you would see the horizontal length is 32 feet 11 inches. But when you put like a sloping degree to this, it increases and it also mentions what is the slope. Okay. Now, whether we have got this correct or not. So for that, I just want to show you, I mean, this is referring to the basics of our mathematics or engineering, like trigonometry. So depending upon what kind of slope is there, you got this sine, cos, and tan values. So over here, if it's like 500 length, then if the slope is 30 degree, it should show 577 Okay, so over here, there is this particular diagram. If you remember your basics, so it is like this distance is 500 and this angle is 30. Then in that case, based on the cos 30, you should get this as 577. If the slope is of 45 45 degrees, in that case, this would become 707 So in order to check this, I've put this particular formula over here, you can cross check. And these particular dimensions, I have got it through the using the measurements. So over here, because this was I mean the degree is matching over here, and the lengths are also matching. So whenever you come across any slope like this, then in that case you can, without any hesitation, you can use this degree slope and the results will be accurate. And same thing also happens for the area also. So over here, if there is no slope, this is going to be your area. So the example over here is 500 mm by 200 mm area. And if there is a slope, maybe the slope is in this direction, then you can consider now the length as 577 instead of 500. And then it gives me the correct area. And suppose if the slope is in this direction also, the 30 degree, in that case, instead of 200, now it is 231. And then the area can be calculated like this. So this exercise I have done just to ensure that the results in the Bluebeam I'm getting are based on our basic mathematics, and they are correct. Okay. This was very interesting for me also. Like I could revise my basic mathematics and trigonometry, which I learned during my school time, and it helps. Okay, I would like to show you about uh, the multiple scales. Okay, so in this particular case, I mentioned that there could be multiple scales in the same drawing. There could be a base scale over here, and then there are multiple scales, for the sectional details. So how to set the scale for such thing? So first of all, I would put the preset scale as per the scale mentioned, or I could also do the calibration for the drawing. And then I've set this 1 by 8 inches equals to 1 feet. And let's just cross check whether this is correct or not. So this is right. That means this scale is perfect for this particular plot. Okay, now let's take the measurement over here. This is 5 feet 4 inches, which is also correct. And almost the same distance you can see over here, slightly less, but not very much less. But now it is showing totally different. Instead of 1 feet half inches, it is showing me 3 feet 1.5 inches. That is because the scale for this particular sectional view is different. So how to create multiple scales in the same drawing? So there is something called as viewports. So you just add the viewport and select the area wherein there is a different scale. I selected all these three because the scale for all of them is 3 by 8 inches equals to 1 feet. If they would have been different, I would have selected different, added different viewports and applied different scales. Okay, so now this is the viewport, and as soon as I put it into a viewport and with the scale, intended scale, you can see now it is representing correctly. So this way you can go on adding multiple viewports. So for this viewport, I can also mention some meaningful name so that I would remember. This is for 3 by 8 inches. Similarly, if I want, I can add one more viewport wherein it could be half inch equals to 1 feet. Okay. So say for example, like this. And for this, I would mention 1 by 2 inches. Okay. So suppose if I get this. Can you see the same measurement I have copy pasted, but now it is showing me something different. 1 feet 4 inches, because over here the viewport is different. Over here the scale is different. Okay. So this way you can go on creating multiple viewports also. Okay. Now let us go to another interesting topic, that is about the having the dynamic link with the Excel. So there is this particular drawing, and you can see that there are some WCs or sinks. Uh, in the sinks also there is a round sink is there, and the square type of sink is also there. Okay, and they all are uh, recorded over here. Okay, so what I can do is I can quickly select all of them. Okay, and just right click, and I will add a legend. Okay, so it tells me that there are this particular sink type is only one count. These are 12 counts, and the toilets are 18 counts. For this, I will mention the subject, the subject as plumbing fixtures. Okay. And again, let me make this as proper table. Okay, and then let me save this. And then there is another document, okay, wherein again there are these kind of sinks are there, toilets are there. So again I will select them, and I will create a legend table for it. Okay, and for this also maybe I'm putting the same plumbing fixtures. Plumbing fixtures. And okay, but in this particular document, you can see there are some pipes also, 4-inch, and I can see there is a 2-inch pipe line also. So for this, maybe let me create another legend table and put it over here. Okay, and these are pipes. Okay, so this way you can put, like um, quantities in the drawing itself. Okay, and suppose if you want to utilize this particular 4-inch line or 2-inch line, all you have to do is select the 4-inch line and then add to tool chest. So you can see over here it has become a 4-inch line. Now I can reuse this, but currently it is in the drawing mode. So drawing mode means it is exactly copying the same thing over here. Instead of this, I can just double click onto that particular tool, and then I can turn it into a properties mode, and then I can like start marking the uh, pipe. So you can see over here earlier, I mean right now it has become 118.9 feet. If I delete this, you can see in the table also it is changing, right? So this happens, I mean, it is linked, always linked to the legend table. If you go on adding more measurements, it will go on updating in the legend table. Now let us see how this will be there in the, I mean, automatically it can update even in the Excel also. So I'm just opening this quantity link expanded Excel. Okay. So there is this, let's assume that you have got a predefined template. You want to know the cost for the measurement of 2-inch pipes. There is a unit mentioned over here. The unit cost is mentioned and the total cost is over here. So what you have to do is, I will just okay. So over here, what you have to do is in the quantity, you want to link to this particular PDF file. So just right click, you will see this quantity link, review quantity link appearing in the, when you right click onto any of these cells, and you have to click onto this create. And then you will have to get the exact same file. So I will just go to the same file. So there are these two files with which I want to link it. Okay. Then what I want, the first quantity is the 2-inch pipe. So measurement of length of the subject 2-inch pipe. Okay. And say okay. So you can see it is reflecting exactly the same 70 feet 2 inches. Okay. And for the 4-inch, again the same thing. You just have to right click quantity link. The source files are already selected. All I have to do is just get the length of subject 4-inch pipe and say okay. So you see automatically the table gets updated. It is same as, it is 6.73. And you remember, like, let's just, like add some measurement over here. The moment it gets changed or added over here, it gets changed in the BOM table also in the drawing, as well as it gets updated automatically over here. The same way, now you want to find out the toilets. So for that, you have to create a quantity link of, you can say, the count of subject and toilets. Okay. Okay. And now in the sinks, you can see the subject is only sink, but the material is oval or square. So how to get that is quantity link create and count of subject is sinks and the label is, your first one is oval and then square. So I'll select oval over here, say okay, and the square over here. Create count of subject sinks, and within sinks the label is square. Okay, so there is 4 count. So you can see over here in this particular document there are 3 sinks, and in this there should be 1 sink, or that means 4 square sinks are there. Over here oval sinks are 12 numbers, and over here sinks are 11, so altogether 23. So since we created link with both these files, it is accumulating everything and it is giving you this dynamic link. All right. And then once, so this way you can get your Excel template or Excel warm table also updated. So once all these quantification is done, you get everything in your markup list. Okay. And then like whatever markups you have done, measurements you have done, it is very easy for you to simply extract it in the form of an Excel. So wherever you want to save this as, export it to, just say, select all these appropriate options, and then it would create something like this. So which also can be used, you can further, since it is in Excel format, you can put the filters or uh, suppose any columns, if you don't want, you can delete from here or hide from here. You can do the calculations also over here, further over here. Okay. So either you can use this kind of table or you can extract the Excel from here. How to add or remove the columns? So in the markup list, you can see wherever these tick marks are there, those are the columns that you are seeing over here. If you don't want something, you can simply tick this off and then it gets removed from this, and then you can extract your summary. All right. So with this, actually, I finished with today's webinar on the estimation. And now we'll open the session for the Q&A session.
Yeah, I think we have some questions.
Okay.
So I'm picking up the questions from the Q&A box first. So Bharat Vasu has put up a question. Can we use PDF drawings in Bluebeam?
So basically, these are all PDF drawings only. In Bluebeam, whenever you try to open any document, it is asking for PDFs only. And on the PDFs only, we are going to do the estimation. Just assume that you are not going to have the native files, like maybe some CAD files or 3D model files. It is just on the basis of PDF how you can do the estimation. So of course, Bluebeam is a PDF net authoring tool only, and it will be able to handle PDF files.
Sure. Hope hope that answers the question, Bharat. And one more question again from Bharat. Can we take BBS in Bluebeam?
Bharat, if you can mention what do you mean by BBS?
Let me see if I can unmute Bharat. Hello, Mike. Yeah, so Bharat, I've allowed the mic for you. If you can just unmute yourself and ask the question. Bar bending schedule. It's bar bending schedule is what it asks.
Bar bending schedules. Okay,
Yeah.
so actually we had this thing special webinar for the steel estimators. Now over here also, like you have seen, in order to get any measurements, I had to do some markup, or basically I had to put the measurement on the drawing. Only then it is giving me the information or accumulating that information. So in the bar bending schedule, like you will have to trace on whichever bar or whichever lengths that you are trying to measure. Maybe you can put a rise and drop additionally, as I have shown over here, if there is any, like slope that you will have to mention. And once that has been put, it will be able to extract the quantity.
Okay. Hope that answers the question, Bharat. If you have a few more, I think I've allowed the mic. You can just put up the question. So there is another question from Atul Bope. So he says that, can I extract the technical data from PDF file of any equipment data sheet or drawings into an editable Excel file?
So you want to convert the maybe some tabular kind of information or format into an Excel, right? I guess my understanding is correct. Let me see if there is some tabular form kind of sample file with me. Yes, generally it is possible because there is an export as Excel. So maybe this kind of sample, okay? And you want to have this into the Excel. So all you have to do is export Excel workbook and maybe just the page region, okay? And you can put it, I mean, save it as some Excel. So it is going to, like run the OCR first onto this. Probably it was like scanned image. It would take some time, but then it should show me this exactly in my Excel. So if you have got technical data in the form of a data sheet or like a table, then you can, like convert it into an Excel. I hope this answers, Mr. Atul.
So if anybody wants to ask a question, please let me know. I can. Yeah, I think he said, okay, thanks. Yeah,
Oh,
that answers his
wonderful.
question. So if there are any more questions, if you would want to ask, please raise the hand. I'll allow the mic for you, and then you can ask the question directly, or alternatively, thing is, you can always place the question in chat box or in the Q&A box.
Uh, in the meantime, probably, Shankar, you can also post the last poll.
Absolutely, yeah, sure.
I think Mr. Raja is asking something.
So, so
And in the meantime, I can also mention that please go through our earlier webinars. They have been regularly, we have been conducting such webinars monthly and all. They are available on our YouTube channel. You can find the links even on our LinkedIn page. So if you have missed something which was done in the past, you can always refer to our YouTube channel of Nemetschek India, and all the webinars, not necessarily only the Bluebeam, but the other brands of Nemetschek that we are representing in India. You will be able to find the webinars over there. I want a sandbox for integration, kindly support plugin development. Mr. Raja, for this particular query, you can connect with us offline. And today I would like to take queries or questions around the estimation or the quantification part only. Is it okay, Mr. Raja? Uh, I think there is one query. If I want to take wall area quantity, how can I make the deductions in wall area? Okay, wonderful. I'll just quickly demonstrate that part, which is called as cutouts. Okay. Uh, Let me take some example like this. Okay, there is this particular slab. Okay, and maybe I can find the volume for this or the area. Let's just take only the area at the moment. So you can go to the measure, and there is a dynamic fill option uh, only for the plan complete, and which is nothing but like a paint bucket tool. Uh, and you just have to click and like paint it like how you would paint with a paint brush, and wherever it finds the boundary it will stop over there, and then I can mention whether I want area or maybe even the volume I
Sorry,
can
I'll call you. I'm
apply.
a little busy. I'll give you a call. Yeah, I'll give you a call. Yeah.
Okay, and over here you can see both the area and volumes are there. So I'll just like slightly shift the text for the volume. Okay, and currently it is showing me the volume as 0 cubic feet. That is because it understands the height to be vertical, but right now I have not mentioned any height. And in this particular document, it is mentioned as 6.5 inches as the slab depth. So I would put the same over here, 6 space 1.5 inch. Okay, and then you would see it has taken the effect over here. So this is the cubic feet and this is the square feet. Now you want to add the cutout over here. The area or the volume that was selected over here did not consider for this rectangular cutout or these cutouts, or maybe there is another cutout of kind of a polygonal sorry ellipsoidal cutout. So in you have to select the area which needs to be recalculated. You just go to tools, measure, and there is a polygonal cutout. So you just keep looking at this area, and when I add the cutout, you can see it changes. Oh, I think the what this thing, yes. So you can see over here in the sorry, the square feet, it is changing. Let me just delete the volume part. Let me put only the area, and I can show you again, measure, and you do the polygonal cutout. See, it is changing. So this way you can do the polygonal cutout, or if you have the ellipsoidal cutout, so that is also possible. So you can mark something like this. And then of course, with the help of these tangents and all, you can specify the exact ellipsoidal or circular area that you want to do as cutout. So does that answer, Mr. Bharat? Some people are not able to see the polls. I think this polls menu comes on top, like where you are able to see the Q&A or chat or something like that. So the polls also should be visible over there.
Yeah, I think there are couple of more questions, Pushkar. So Mr. Anil Patil is asking, how do we get the link of Achha, okay, this is the for the next webinar. Do we need to subscribe it? So Mr. Patil, we will be publishing the webinars on our website also, all the future webinars, and of course we send constant emailers to all the registered database, and then we have our own social media events page on LinkedIn, where we post all the future webinars. So I think you'll get notifications from there as well. If you subscribe to our LinkedIn page, that's good enough. We'll get the future webinars, whatever we're conducting.
Thank you, Harsh.
So, so
Could
we
we
have,
collect the result for the last poll?
yeah, one sec. I think
There are only 5 responses for the last poll.
As of now, it is 5.
So any more questions? We still have some time. And please rest be assured that any queries or questions that you have in your mind, apart from the estimations and measurements, please do let us know. Shankar, we can have our email address put in the chat box. So I'm
Yeah.
putting the support uh, mail ID. So
So
I've put it in
all
the
our
chat
webinars
box.
generally,
Yes. Yes, Shankar, go ahead.
yeah, all our webinars generally get uploaded onto our YouTube channel. So let's say if you have missed the past webinars, you can go there, go to our YouTube channel. There are webinars which we have done in the past. You can listen through the webinars, or there are also a lot of video content available on Bluebeam. So we have posted a lot of video content available on Bluebeam, explaining the features, etc., etc. So whenever you get time, please do subscribe to the channel so that whenever we post a new video or any new feature, you will have access to all of those um, data.
Yeah. There is one query from Mr. Raja. What is the accuracy of these measurements with reference to .dwg, as these are PDFs, not the actual accurate drawing format? So basically, before, like I mentioned about the OCR part and all, if it's a scanned image, then the accuracy, of course, depends upon the scanning device. If it is extracted from the authoring tool, maybe since you are referring to .dwg, I assume that it could be AutoCAD. Then in that case, the accuracy is pretty much the same. And you could see, I could snap to the exact endpoints or the intersection points. And if still the accuracy, I mean, you are not able to get the exact scale as what was mentioned on the drawing, you always have the calibrate option to make it more and more accurate. Does that answer your query, Mr. Raja? You have the calibration option also to make it more accurate in case if the mentioned scale is not correct. Okay, good. You can try it out on your own also. So Shankar, are you sharing some information?
Yeah, so I've shared the link to our YouTube channel where you can find all the content across all our softwares. Of course, Bluebeam has a lot of content as well. We have all the recorded webinars shared. Even this webinar will be shared on the same channel. We are very active on LinkedIn. Please do follow our LinkedIn page. So we post a lot of content on LinkedIn, specifically customer case studies, some of the other features, activities. All of them go on LinkedIn and Meta channels, including Facebook and Instagram. So whenever you find time, please do follow our channels, and then you are able to access all the information what we are doing.
I think Raja has got still more queries. Is it possible to link or reference another PDF from the main PDF for detail? So for this, maybe you can use this split screen, and in this split screen, you can have two different documents. It could be a drawing, and on the other window, it could be specifications, data sheets, or anything like that. And if it is the revision of the same drawing, in that case maybe you can synchronize the documents, and that also comes over here. In case if you want to refer altogether different document, then you have to tick this off, synchronized document. So in that case, like you can, like zoom or pan in one document, and in the other window it will have the other, I mean, it will have different zoom or pan in the second window. So this way you can refer to two different documents. What if I have 10 rooms in a house? Wish details view of each room as needed. I'm sorry, I'm not able to understand what you're trying to ask over here, Mr. Raja. Yeah, yeah. In case if I'm not able to get you through this particular webinar, we can always connect here. I want to click on one of the room at random. Does it show respective room details? Okay. So for this, I mean, I mean, there is something called as edit hyperlink. So this kind of option is there, and I can demonstrate this to you if you connect with me offline. I would suggest that you have already got our email, and I can show you how you can create this kind of links, maybe within the same drawing, or maybe text to another drawing altogether. Such kind of things is possible. There is something called as edit action. Edit action is there. So using this, you will be able to create the required links. Yeah. So if you have not tried it, maybe we can connect offline. I can demonstrate to you. It's very simple. I mean, you just read about edit action. Yeah, good.
Perfect. I think we are little over 1 minute now. So I hope everybody would have enjoyed this session. I think you've got a lot of insights on Bluebeam. We'll keep coming up with more and more sessions on Bluebeam. It's a great tool towards digitization of your organization, reducing the paper usage, all of that stuff. So imagine reducing paper is also indirectly linked to the climate change, reducing the cutting down of trees around us, more plants, etc. So I think Bluebeam has a greater impact, I would say, and we'll be continuing our sessions more and more. Please do uh, watch our channels. Please do follow us everywhere where you find us, so that you'll be informed first. Thank you so much for being part of this webinar, and thank you for your questions. Thank you for your response.